And good evening to you, and well, happy Sunday, happy Labor Day weekend to you, and welcome to Dr. Pepper Ballpark. RoughRiders live, the Frisco RoughRiders game 139 tonight, just two remaining, and boy, it has been a heck of a season. The RoughRiders not in contention for postseason play, but trying to close out the season strong against the Midland Rockhounds. Tonight, it's Jose Leclerc looking to end the season on a high note. He's 6-7. He'll be opposed by Dylan Overton. He is 4-2. The Midland Rockhounds coming off a big win last night, and they are in contention for postseason play. They will play the Corpus Christi Hooks in the South Division. Coming up on the show tonight, we'll talk to our owner of the Frisco RoughRiders, Chuck Greenberg. He's here with me. A little bit later, we'll hear from pitching coach Jeff Andrews. We'll go over the promotions, another two big nights worth of promotions to close out the season, and also some of the RoughRiders that are headed to Arizona to play in the Arizona Fall League. But right now, I'd like to bring in the owner of the Frisco RoughRiders, Chuck Greenberg. And Chuck, game 139 tonight, it just goes by so fast.
It's amazing. It seems like I was just sitting here with Gina Miller right around the corner there yesterday, and here we are with only two games to play.
You talk about attendance figures and the fan experience, and this season has really been groundbreaking for the RoughRiders, and expecting another huge crowd tonight.
It has been a great season for the RoughRiders, a season of rebirth, really. A franchise that got off to such a great start in 2003 and had maintained its perch as the top drawing team in AA baseball, but it had a little bit of decline every year for about the last decade, and we just blew that trend up this year. And in every way, we've taken such great strides forward. Attendance is way up, the turnstile count is way up, the ballpark experience, of course, all these great improvements we made around the park have added to the fan experience, and it's just been a great year in every way. And we haven't had the team on the field that obviously that would be great to have, but have been a terrific group of guys, have been wonderful with the fans, and look back on this season as a great success.
You look back at some of your other teams that you own in Myrtle Beach and State College, and there's a blueprint there that is a title for success, and you've carried it here to Frisco, and you look at the things like the big scoreboard, the LED boards on the field, and all the enhancements to the ballpark that have made this place one of a kind.
Well, really over 30 baseball seasons now, from the Altoona Curve, the Myrtle Beach Pelicans, the State College Spikes, of course the Rangers, and now with the Frisco RoughRiders. The key to the formula is take good care of our fans. Whether it's cutting prices, having a more diverse and enjoyable and dynamic fan experience, constantly upgrading the ballpark every year, doing whatever we can to take great care of our fans, our sponsors, our players, our coaches, all the baseball industry personnel who come through here, the scouts, everybody. If we take great care of everybody, we make sure everybody's having a good time, a lot of things take care of themselves.
I know one thing that you try to make a point of doing is anytime a fan reaches out to you, you get back to them. And some owners, they're far in distance and they're nowhere to be heard from, but you take that personal approach, and it means something to you.
Oh yeah, because that's my background. I'm just a fan, a guy who loves going to a lot of games and a lot of different sports and a lot of different facilities. And even now, I get in line with everybody, line up for the food and pay the bill, and the guys always kid me it's moving the money from the left pocket to the right pocket. But no, I want to have the same experience the fans have, because that's my best way to stay in touch with how we're doing. And whether it's fans coming up and giving suggestions and feedback, whatever it might be, anything we can do to be the best we can be, we welcome it with open arms and appreciate it. And I think that's the culture that Jason Dombach and I have tried to instill here, which is to take what was already a great experience and take it to that next level by using all of our senses to give people what they want.
Why baseball for you? You have obviously, plenty of options you could have chosen from, but you chose baseball, and here you are.
Well, I love baseball. It's always been my first love among all the sports that I enjoy so thoroughly. But the reality is I got into baseball as an owner and operator because the opportunity came to me. I got a call out of the blue from one of the fellows who owned the Altoona Curve back in 2001, and that led to my first opportunity to buy a team after, in my day job, having spent many years advising other people who owned and operated franchises. And it just couldn't have worked out better, and here we are, like I said, 14 years and 30 seasons later, and it's been a great run.
The Rangers, I know something that also was important to you was fostering a better relationship from Frisco into Arlington, and that relationship has really developed over the last year.
Yeah, absolutely. The RoughRiders have always been a terrific affiliate. Rangers, of course, have always been a great affiliate for Frisco, but it was a little bit of a sort of a corporate arm's length relationship, and I think that was mainly coming from Frisco, not the Rangers, because also being their affiliate in Myrtle Beach, I got a lot of feedback from them about all the things that they appreciated in Myrtle Beach that they thought could be improved here in Frisco. So again, trying to be good listeners and apply the things that we try to do culturally, and I know they're just thrilled with the way that it's worked out. We've heard it from players, from coaches, from scouts, everybody, that while this has always been a terrific experience, it's on a whole different level now.
6 out of the 10 largest attendance figures in franchise history have come this season, and there's a chance that could break again tonight. But what do you think? Is there one thing you can really pinpoint to that maybe has driven up those numbers as much as it has?
Well, I think it's a combination of things. In the past, the marketing budget was literally zero. The market for promotions that were intended to bring fans into the ballpark was zero. And Jason Dombach came in, 15 years of us doing this together, and in only 60 days, he came here 60 days before opening day, kind of created a program out of nothing. So that's been a big part of it. We had no social media presence before. His first day marked the 3-month anniversary of our last activity on Twitter. Now we're all over the place on various social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, you name it. So doing all of those things, creating more promotions on a nightly basis, whether it's Big Money Mondays or the $2 tacos on Tuesday, the $1 hot dogs on Wednesdays, of course $1 beer on Thursdays, kids running the bases after all non-firework teams, you name it. We try to make it all 70 nights are like opening night, and they're special. So whether it's improving the experience that helps everybody have a better time, where they want to come back more, the word of mouth that's created from not only the improved experience, but all the new features at the ballpark, the state fairway behind us that's so dramatically upgraded the whole food experience here, the Bull Moose Saloon over our right shoulder that's just been a great venue. So it's whether the things we do, the way word gets around, or the way we try to promote everything we do, that's really moved the needle. And to think that we did all that really with only a 60-day off season, the fact that now we're going to have a 7-month traditional off season, it's really exciting because we got big things in store for next year.
That Bull Moose Saloon was hopping yesterday with the college football kickoff, big college night, the first ever in Riders history, a college night, and another big attendance figure. Going forward, this is a vision, though, where you see that it's not just about this year, and as you mentioned, it's a process of going not only next year, but 5-10 years down the road.
Yeah, this, obviously all of us involved in this love baseball, but we recognize that we're here most of all to help everybody make memories and to have a memorable experience, and to want to come back and enjoy the ballpark and the experience in ways they couldn't the first time, so they want to come back again. So, just like an amusement park has to refresh itself every year, we need to do the same. Now, the improvements we made this year were massive. The new video board, the sound system, the Bull Moose Saloon, the in-touch grill, the state fairway, and I know I'm leaving out a lot of other things. But we got some pretty big plans for next year. We're really interested in finding ways to expand the pool area dramatically, create an entirely different pool experience in right field. The diamond deck in left field, which is so popular, sold out every night. We'd like to double that. We've got some other fan experience ideas that, are just sort of, ideas in the back of our head that we want to bring forward. But again, to have a full 7 months to plan and execute, and then to find more ways to go out and get out into the community and touch the community 365 days a year has all of us very, very excited about next season.
And don't forget about that Riders Outpost. That's open all off season long. Get your gear and all the new logos. It's been a hottest item in minor league ball.
And thanks for mentioning that, because I actually that really dominated our offseason. The whole rebranding, going with the Teddy Roosevelt themed look, whether it's the colors, the swinging Teddy, the smiling Teddy, the old school uniforms, the old school banners that are a bunting that's up at the park every single day of the year to remind us that for our fans every night's opening night. It's been a huge, huge success. This franchise was never big when it came to its retail operation. It just wasn't a priority. And this year, if we're not number one in all of minor league baseball, we're certainly going to be in the top 10. And now for the first time ever, we have a store that's open on non-game day. So we're looking forward to bringing that out there, getting it more out into schools and kids and families. And it's we got off to a great start with it, and it's never backed off.
This man's got a vision. He's implementing it, and it's getting better every single day. So, Chuck, thank you, and it's great to be here.
My pleasure, Nate. Thanks for all of your great work this year. It's just been a fun season in every way. And like I said, I remember us, sweating out trying to make sure the video board was going to be operational. And you blink, and here we are down to the last 2 games. But as you said, we've had the 4 largest crowds in franchise history, 6 of the top 8, and I got a pretty good feeling after tonight it's going to be 7 out of 10. And we're just warming up. This is the fun part is building and finding new ways to grow, and we're just getting it going. And next year is going to be really, really special.
Awesome. Chuck, thanks.
Thank you, Nate.
All right, that's Chuck Greenberg, the owner of the Frisco RoughRiders. And as he said, big things on the horizon for 2016. All right, earlier today we got to catch up with the Riders pitching coach Jeff Andrews, and we talked about the struggles that the pitching staff has had this season, but on the bright side, a lot of his tutelage has brought players up to the big leagues, and we'll talk about that now with Jeff.
You know, as we were coming up to do this, I started to think about the entire season beginning way back in April, and to, try to put it into context. We've had two pitchers that have started here that are now pitching in the big leagues with Philadelphia. We've had guys promoted from here to AAA. We've had Andrew Faulkner go from here to AAA to the big leagues. It has been a potpourri of seasons with ups and downs and good points and bad points. I hope that the pitchers somehow have learned from the season, have gotten better, or gained some kind of information on how to improve.
There's only been 3 guys that have stayed with this club the entire season, and that's Payano, Leclerc, and Chad Bell. But each in their own individual way, they've improved since the beginning of the year.
Yeah, I think so. It's Leclerc, making the transition from being a reliever in A-ball to a starter in Double-A with limited ability to change speeds and throw breaking balls has done a nice job. Chad Bell has found a new pitch that he thinks is going to help him along in his career, being the slider. Victor's got competitive. His last time out, he went 7 innings against Corpus in a nice ball game. So I think all of them are kind of going forward in their mind and stuff that they've accumulated this year.
You rattled off some of the names that have found their way to the big leagues this season: Faulkner, Jared Eichhoff, Alec Asher, Chichi Gonzalez. Is that the most you've had in a single season go and make their major league debut?
Oh, gosh, I don't know. I don't know about that one, but it sure is. It's nice to see him, go up there and live a dream. And hopefully it's not the beginning, or it's not the end of the journey, it's just the beginning. And so many pitchers look at it, I just want to get to the big leagues, but I think these guys want to get there and stay.
Yeah, one thing that you're big on is you ask these guys if they're ready for that opportunity and that challenge to pitch at that level. And so one thing that you try to focus on down here is get them mentally ready for the fans, for the outside speculation, and really that helps them when they get to that level.
Sure, and be ready for success and be ready for failure. And know that it's about the game, that it's nice to be in the big leagues and to travel well and do all those things that make major league lifestyle so great, but it's going to be determined on whether they're ready to pitch, how many outs they get, are they able to bounce back from bad outings, can they maintain good outings. There's so much more into it just than to say, I'm in the big leagues.
You look at the staff as a whole, and the walks have kind of plagued the team as the year has gone on. And is that something you can correct in terms of teaching, or is it mechanics, or is it just a whole process of learning how to pitch?
It's a combination. It's a lot different for different guys. Some guys get uncompetitive at certain times in games, and they'll get defensive and walk guys. Other guys will try to strike guys out too often, and they'll walk guys. Other guys may have a mechanical deficiency that won't allow them to throw a lot of strikes. I think I know one thing: they're contagious, because we proved that. We walked way more than we should have this year.
Jose Leclerc going tonight, and we kind of briefly touched on him, but he's got a really strong arsenal of pitches, and you look at his changeup and how it works off his fastball, and he's got a really live arm.
Yeah, that's what's enticed everybody to see if he could be a starter, to see if he could become a starter, to see if the velocity would play like it did out of the bullpen. And he has a nice changeup, to see if that would go ahead and make waves as a starter. And now we're coming up with trying to get him a slider, something that'll run off the end of a right-handed hitter's bat, and a curveball that he can play with to lefty. So he's working on 4 pitches. I don't know which would be 1 through 4 if I ranked them on a given day, but hopefully today I hope he has 2 or 3 of them.
Last night, Connor Sadzek, he cruises through the first 2 innings, and then he just kind of hits a road bump there in the third. Is there anything that you can specifically pinpoint maybe why that happens to him, it seems like?
Inexperience, I hope. I hope that's all that it is, that he doesn't know how to negotiate himself through an inning like that. And especially, this team that we're playing, Midland's pretty good. And there's not a lot of, they have only one guy in their lineup hitting below 250. And that's a hard road to navigate for somebody that's not experienced. And they have power, and they have left and right-handed hitter, and they have speed. They run the bases, and they're a very good offensive team 1 through 9. And if you give them any type of little room, any wiggle room, they're going to take advantage of it.
What's the best part for you coming to the ballpark each day?
I don't know, the competitiveness. Still, not only competitiveness in the game and try to win the game, but the competitiveness in hopefully we can get a couple guys better, help a couple guys bounce back from bad outings, all trying to, improve and go to the next level, and make them better as pitchers. That's the big thing.
After these 2 games, you go home, Oklahoma City, spend some time with your boys, and get away from the game for just a little while?
Yeah, probably about a week, and then I go to Instructional League on next Sunday. But it will be a nice little break. I mean, you take 1 or 2 days off, and it seems like a month when the season starts. So it will be nice. I might even go up and watch Round Rock. They play in Oklahoma City at the end of the week. See some guys that we've sent there and see that staff. But yeah, just kind of relax for a week, do some yard work.
One last thing for you. Went down and saw the Hickory staff throw some of the younger pitchers, and are you excited about some of the talent that's coming up through the Rangers organization?
Yeah, they have a nice mix. They have a nice mix of good arms, guys that know how to pitch, a variety of different pitches, change-ups, some guys sliders. It's an interesting group. I think myself and the pitching department and the organization is very excited as that's the next wave that's coming through.
And Jeff was great, so appreciate him doing that this afternoon. The Rough Riders and the Midland Rockhounds getting set for Game 2 of this 3-game set tonight at 6:05. Tomorrow's contest will take place at 6:05 as well on Labor Day. The final home series of the season. It wraps up 2015. Let's take a look at some of the riders to watch tonight, and that includes guys like Luis Mendez. Boy, has Luis Mendez been good in this second half. He hit 207 in the first half, and he's got that average up all the way to 244, up to 280 in the second half, so he has really been good. He's got 2 career home runs. He came in with he's got 2 home runs on the season. He came in with just 2 career home runs. So Luis Mendez, who put together a nice streak, just snapped it over the road trip where he hit in 6 straight games. He will bat 8th tonight. Zach Cohn, he's in the outfield tonight. He's hitting 252, 3 home runs, and 20 RBIs. He is playing in game number 39 with the Rough Riders after starting the season with Advanced A High Desert. And over his last 13 games, Zach Cohn is hitting 375. So the former Georgia Bulldog and first-round draft pick of the Texas Rangers is starting to put it together here in the second half of the season with Frisco. Now into the pitching. Victor Payano finished up his last start last week against the Corpus Christi Hooks, and he pitched an absolute dandy. He went 7 innings in that contest, and Victor Payano will close the season out with a 4-4 record. Couldn't get that ERA under 5. He leaves it at 5.05, but 7 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, and he struck out 3 in that start against Corpus Christi. The team did lose that ball game, but Victor, a much-needed start as the bullpen had really been taxed over the last 4 games, and Victor gave a big-time 7-inning start. Victor, his last win coming on August 4th against Midland, and he started the season in the starting rotation. Then they moved him to the bullpen before coming back to the starting rotation to end the year. And Victor, who's the big, tall left-hander, really had to work on some of his command. He walked a lot of guys, got himself into trouble for some parts of the season, but then battled back. A very good strikeout pitcher, a hard fastball in the upper 90s, and now it's just a matter of fine-tuning those secondary pitches to try to finish off hitters. So Victor Payano, a very strong end to the season in that game at Whataburger Field, and a much-needed lift for the bullpen. Payano at home this season, a whole run lower in his ERA, 4.62 at home. He went 1-2 in 13 games at Dr. Pepper Ballpark. And Victor, who, is still young, 21 years old, still has a lot to grow from, and this is his first full season at Double-A. He spent all of last year with Myrtle Beach, the High A affiliate of the Texas Rangers, and so he'll have that to go on to next season for Victor Payano. Tonight's starter is Jose Leclerc. And Leclerc, the right-hander from the Dominican Republic, he is making his 3rd start here in the month of August. And he missed some time. He had a death in the family. A grandparent passed away, so he missed a couple of starts in August. But Leclerc just has that nasty arsenal. A very heavy fastball comes in, 93, 94 miles an hour, and then a devastating changeup that looks like a slider at times. There it is on the screen. I mean, this kid is just filthy. And talking with some scouts that have come out to see other pitchers, aside from Leclerc, they always come away with the impression that, wow, Jose may be the strongest on this pitching staff. Leclerc comes into tonight's game 6-7 with a 5.47 earned run average. He's making start number 22. A note on both Payano and Leclerc, 2 of just 3 pitchers that began the year in Frisco, and they will close out the season with the AA affiliate of the RoughRiders. So Leclerc, another chance tonight. The month of August has not treated him so well, but he gets to get back on track and try to get his first win since the beginning of the month against a Midland team that is just a very, very potent offense. We saw it last night. Boy, they lit up the scoreboard. They scored over 20 runs in that contest. Arizona Fall League coming up in October. The RoughRiders will have 2 players on their roster participating in the Arizona Fall League, which is a prospect-laden month-long league that they will play a bunch of games. They'll play for the Texas Rangers spring training affiliate in Surprise, the Segueros. Adam Parks and Ryan Slack will represent the Frisco RoughRiders, and they will join John Fasola, Sam Wolf, Jurickson Profar, who is on the Major League Rehab assignment tonight. He's in the lineup for the RoughRiders. Also, Lewis Brinson, who we saw last month in a RoughRiders jersey, and Ryan Rua. So the Arizona Fall League will see those 7 players from the Texas Rangers. And Parks has been good. He's 5-7 with a 2.92 earned run average in 53 career appearances. And Ryan Slack, who's 23 years old, he's from 96, South Carolina. Look that one up on Wikipedia. It's a good story. And he has been rock solid in 9 games for the RoughRiders. He has just allowed 1 run in 13 1/3 innings. So Ryan Slack and Mr. Parks excited to go play in the Arizona Fall League amongst a slew of, like I said, really good prospects in the Rangers organization. And Jurickson Profar, who is here tonight on a rehab assignment. He played 9 games with Hickory. He went 0 for 4 last night in his first game with the RoughRiders since 2012. But he's going to participate in that Arizona Fall League team, trying to get him healthy for next season with the Rangers. Right now, let's talk about some of the promotions. Tonight, the first 1,500 kids will take home this jersey, this slate blue RoughRiders jersey. It's part 3 of a 3-set series that saw the home cream jersey and also the red jersey for the RoughRiders. And this one is presented by Grande Communications. The first 1,500 kids, a bunch of them wearing them out here in the State Farm out here before tonight's game. Also, tomorrow, Fan Appreciation Night, the first 1,000 fans will take home these sunglasses. Pretty good-looking shades, except when you put them on the host here. Metallic red, they're sponsored by Dr. Pepper, and the first 1,000 fans will take home those slick shades. It's also Fan Appreciation Night, and they have all kinds of promotions tomorrow night. Beer specials, food specials, $1 hot dogs, $1 beer specials. It's also Big Money Monday, so one fan in attendance could take home a big amount of money. If they do, in fact, compete in a couple of competitions, they could take home a large sum. Fireworks tonight after the game, fireworks tomorrow after the game. So back-to-back fireworks nights to close out the season. $1 beer, wine, and whiskey mixed drinks tomorrow from 5 to 7 p.m. Also $1 Dr. Pepper products and lemon chills all game long. And as I said, the sunglasses, the first 1,000 fans will take home these sunglasses tomorrow, presented by Dr. Pepper Ballpark. Come out to Dr. Pepper Ballpark. See the RoughRiders. Only 2 games remaining, both against the Midland Rockhounds. Tonight, Jose Leclerc looks to get the RoughRiders back on track. They've lost about 5 in a row, so it's been a tough stretch for them. But tonight, they try to change all that and get a win. Jose Leclerc, game coming up at 6:05. We'll hope you'll join us. RoughRiders and the Midland Rockhounds. If you can't come to the ball game, RidersBaseball.com to hear the audio field with the voice of the Riders, Alex Vispoli, and myself, Nate Lucas. It's been a pleasure having you along the last couple of times here on RoughRiders Live, and I want to say a special thank you to Ted Price, who's the man behind all the scenes here, and he gets everything squared away, the graphics and cutting up the audio and the interviews. He does a great job putting this show together. For my guest, Chuck Greenberg, the owner of the RoughRiders, as he told you, a lot of things to come next season. Looking forward to it in 2016. Jeff Andrews, the pitching coach. It's good to get him on the show today. And also as I said, everybody here at Dr. Pepper Ballpark for coming out and enjoying Labor Day weekend at Dr. Pepper Ballpark. Enjoy the game, everybody. Thanks for tuning in, and have a good weekend.